What is up, everybody? What is up, and welcome to the PGHChrisTV show. I am your host, PGHChrisTV, here with another video breaking down this weekend's Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. Yes, it is a big game. This is most likely the AFC North Championship, and it is a must-win for Pittsburgh. But before I get into all that, before I get into much more, please remember, subscribe to the channel, like, comment, turn on post notifications, follow me on all social medias at PGHChrisTV. All the socials will be linked in the description, as well as the Sports Jedi Network YouTube, on our way to 20,000 subscribers. I will have all the links in the description. Please go click the link, follow on all platforms, show support. Tonight's sponsor of this video, the sponsor of this video is DUBBY Energy. DUBBY Energy, join the movement, be better, save 10% off by using promo code PGHChrisTV. That is code PGHChris, PGHChris at checkout. And if for more from our sponsor, here's an ad from DUBBY Energy before we get into the video. All right, everybody, make sure to use code PGHChris at checkout for 10% off your order for DUBBY. Join the DUBBY movement and be better. And a quick thank you to all of our partners and sponsors of the PGHChrisTV show. Now, let's get back to our program. All right, guys. All righty. Let's get into the video here. Let's get into this preview. Baltimore Ravens taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Baltimore. Guys, I'm very nervous. And I talked a little bit about that when I did my Buffalo Bills review. And I talked a little bit about the game this weekend, but I'm pretty nervous. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say I'm not, because I am. All right, I am. And I don't know what's going to happen. I think a lot of things need to happen. Obviously, our defense needs to be better than ever, in my opinion. Lamar Jackson, he's had some injuries this year, hasn't played a whole lot. He hasn't been playing as great as maybe we expect him to. He definitely does not look like the two-time MVP that we know, or that the Steelers know. But I always think when it comes to Lamar Jackson, I take all that struggling this season aside, he's never been his strongest against Pittsburgh anyway. I mean, I'm so sick of the fucking narrative that people on ESPN, specifically Dan Orlowski, Kimberly A. Martin, and all these fucking people who are supposedly at the games covering the team, and yet they sound completely stupid. Because I'm fucking tired of the narrative of every time the Steelers play the Ravens, the Steelers are always the underdog. Or if the Ravens lose, it's a choke. Motherfucker, Lamar Jackson has a losing record against Pittsburgh. Last time I checked, it was 2-4. I don't know what it is now, because he's been hurt the last couple of games. I mean, Tyler Humphrey, we played him in the last couple of games. Like, I don't know what what the exact record is off the top of my head, but the last time I checked, it was 2-4, which was probably last season. So he's probably 3-4, if not out of even 500 record against the Steelers. And you're telling me that this game is always, us being the underdog. I get it when the Ravens are hot and Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson are playing meaningful offensive football, but the reality is they're not. They're not. Derrick Henry has not produced this season, and neither has Lamar Jackson. Their defense hasn't helped them in any way by being good, because their offense sucks. It's not one of those situations with Cincinnati that I look at and it's like, okay, they have a really good offense, or a good enough offense, but their defense is fucking horrible. It's not one of those things right now where one game the Pittsburgh Steelers offense plays good and one game the Pittsburgh Steelers defense plays good, and it's the opposite. Both sides of the ball, they play like shit at the same time. So my point is, we need to take advantage of their defensive backs, because I don't think they're as strong. I don't think Kyle Hamilton is as strong as this season as people are making him think he is. When I watched film against the Buffalo Bills, and look, I'm going to get into right now what I want to happen, what I want to see a little bit of from the offense. when I watch that Buffalo Bills game and I look at the film and not just the plays on TV. See, when I watch football and I watch the film study, I don't watch highlights on NFL Network or NFL YouTube and that's the film. I actually have NFL Plus. I break the film down, I watch it from different angles. I I just look for different stuff that maybe the casual or the average football fan watching their team looks for because 2026, I'm next season I have big plans to do the show football wise a little bit more full time. And I'll get into all that stuff, when the time is, but it is one of those things where the offense has to produce. They have to produce and defensively it has to be a battle. Has to be a battle because again, I know I'm just sitting here going on a rampage and talking about how I don't think Lamar Jackson is playing well, and neither is Derrick Henry. But the reality is our defense isn't either. Our defense isn't either. So we have to do a good job of stopping the run, which we've had a very, very difficult time doing all season. And I don't know. I don't see how playing Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry is all of a sudden going to get better. A lot of injuries on the defensive side as well. That cold weather is really, really going to start to have an impact. So, in hindsight, we're gonna have to see how the game goes, but it is winner takes all essentially. It is winner makes the playoffs. It is essentially winner wins the division. I do think even if we do, even if we lose on Sunday and we beat them in the last game of the season, I still think they'll have the advantage. So it's very important that the Steelers get the win. Very important that the Steelers get the win because their season is on the line. It's on the line, and you know Mike Tomlin could possibly be out of a job. And I will make a completely separate video about that this weekend, talking about how I personally feel about the Mike Tomlin situation because I got a couple things to say. So I'll talk more about that this weekend. For now, enjoy the Ravens game. Go Steelers. And I'll be back either very frustrated or very happy. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to subscribe and have a good day.